Cup. But before we get started with the interesting part, the interviews and your Q&A session with the coaches, just a small logistical information, we do have simultaneous translation, Channel 1 English, Channel 2 Russian, Channel 3 Portuguese, Channel 4 Deutsch, and Channel 5 Espanol. For 2 weeks, from the 17th June to the 2nd of July next year, the eyes of the football world will converge on St. Petersburg, Kazan, Moscow, and Sochi, 4 of Russia's internationally most renowned sports cities. Ignited by the scenarios we've just discovered during the draw, promising great football action on the field of play. As such, is it a great pleasure for me to welcome on stage the coaches of Group B. As you know, the African participant will only be known when the champion of the African Cup of Nations is crowned on the 5th of February. And I'm happy to welcome the coach of Chile, Juan Antonio Pizzi, the coach of Australia, Ange Postecoglou, and the coach of the reigning world champion Germany, Joachim Löw. Thank you for joining us today. The opening match for Australia and Germany in Sochi. Herr Löw, the Tournament of Champions, the FIFA Confederations Cup, is very specific because of the diverse styles of the teams. How do you see that in the Tournament of Champions when you see the lineups?
Bueno, tenemos la oportunidad de enfrentarnos a distintas culturas, a distintas mentalidades. Chile, Australia, y también jugamos contra el campeón de África. Y esto en sí, pues también teniendo en cuenta el desarrollo de un equipo, pues es de gran importancia, porque por lo general lo que hacemos es enfrentarnos a equipos europeos. Y por eso es muy conveniente que en este caso también podamos jugar contra otras culturas.
It's a very interesting group, and we're looking forward to this match.
Playing against the reigning world champions, how is that for yourselves on there?
Yeah, look, we're obviously very excited, looking forward to it.
I think you need to switch on the microphone.
There we go. Yeah, sorry, we're obviously very excited. Yeah, that's why you want to play in major tournaments, to test yourself and measure yourself against the very best in the world. And you know, with this group, we have this opportunity, obviously playing Germany, the world champions first, and yeah, for us, it's a great test, and one we're looking forward to, because you know, our continued growth as a football nation will only come if we get the opportunity to play against the very best in the world, and as I said, this group allows us to do that.
Thank you. Senor Pizzi, Chile is very renowned for their supporters and that. What is in store for your supporters in that group? How do you see? What can they expect?
Well, as my two colleagues just said, these are all difficult matches. Playing is very, very high. Amongst these teams, we have the world champion, and that on the group phase and as well as on the knockout phase. Australia, in the last couple of years, and having participated in the Asia Cup, has increased its strength, has gone from strength to strength, and we're certainly looking forward to finding out who the African team will be, but we know that African teams are physically very, very strong, all of them, and we know we can compete with them. And as our colleagues said, we want to see where we are, and we want to find out how strong we are, and in order to do so, we need to match up with strong teams such as Germany and others.
The floor is now yours. Maybe ask you, please, to say your name and organization. So, please. Okay, in the first row.
Hola.
Yes. Hello, Ruben Rodriguez, Fox Sports. Today's role of Chile in the last couple of years. Today, it is really the team that is being chased by the others. It's the team that has to be beaten. And with regards to their role as favorites and within their group, how do you see them and where do you see them there? Well, we have come to compete, and we know that if we're able to really put in a maximum of intensity and really get into the match, then we are very hard to beat, and we know that we can compete with any other team, even with the best teams in the world. And we simply trust that within this championship, we will be up to scratch. We will be there where we have to be. We will be able to compete with the other teams. We need to put in a lot of effort in order to move beyond the group stages and move into the final.
Next question.
Al técnico de la selección chilena.
Yes, Alberto Garcia, Ecuador. Chile displayed an excellent level in winning the Copa de America. And then also when it comes to the group phase for Russia. But actually, it wasn't as in tournaments past. But I think that Chile needs to recover that level now because it will be very, very difficult. And do you believe that Chile needs to show and display the kind of football that it showed in the past again? No, I absolutely don't agree with your assessment of the team strength. I think that we have maintained our level. We have maintained a level that has allowed us to compete with most teams, and in most of the matches, we were absolutely up to the task, not only just in the Copa de America, in the United States, but we have also played very well in the knockout phases, and I think we have been in the qualifying phases for the World Cup, and I believe that we will maintain an excellent level. And when it comes to the kind of level that we will have to display at this tournament, of course it has to be the highest of the highest level. Because we're competing with the best teams. And any mistake or any lack of focus will practically mean being eliminated from the tournament.
Rivera for ADN Radio Chile. If you need to describe the team of Chile, is more important prepare against Chile about individual stars, or maybe Chile is more strong team? What is the difference for you, or what is the most important when you need to prepare your match against Chile? Thanks.
Yeah, hello.
Okay. Chile ist eine Mannschaft.
Chile is a team that is tactically excellent. I mean, we're talking about a relatively small country, but at the same time they have a great number of excellent individual players. And therefore I believe that Chile has shown in the last couple of years that they belong right up there to the with the best in the world, and they're excellent in the attack as well. As far as I'm concerned, we've always looked to Chile in the past as well because they play very well and they have excellent players, and therefore I do believe that Chile will be amongst the favorites in the upcoming years and in the upcoming tournaments.
Sport Express, Россия.
Sport Express, Russia. My question is addressed to Joachim Löw, your colleague from the best team in summer 2017 to live up to the expectations. Will you bring your best team from Germany? This is my question. Thank you.
We will certainly bring a very strong team. That goes without saying. At this point in time, I cannot yet fill you in on who will be the individual players, but we will certainly look closely into the matter. And as far as I'm concerned, the Confed Cup is an opportunity in order to offer an opportunity to individual young players where we have in different countries with different opportunity for a young player to develop. I'm convinced that this is a good opportunity for individual young players, good players, but we will have a very strong team as such. And we will be very, very concentrated. And we will be very, very concentrated and be very well prepared going into the tournament.
Okay, one last then.
Gracias. Para el señor Joachim Löw.
For Mr. Löw, the role of Germany as being the only World Cup holder in the tournament, world champion right now, and do you believe that Germany will be the favorite, will be the one to chase in this tournament?
Also ich bin jetzt schon einige Jahre.
Well, I've been the coach of the national team for a number of years in Germany, and the situation is always the same. Whenever Germany is in a tournament, we're always amongst the favorites, and we're always amongst that group of favorites. Spain certainly was a favorite in the last couple of years, and then Argentina and Italy at times as well. But going into a tournament as a favorite, that's something that we're well accustomed to. Our players are used to it, and it doesn't really pose a problem for us. But we always know that a tournament means that you have to prove yourself again and again, and every match is important. But this role does not signify an extra burden for us.
More questions? If one last, there with them.
Juan Antonio, por acá. Enzo Oliver.
De la Radio Chile. Well, personally, how do you see this opportunity? How do you see this moment, this Confed Cup, going there with the Chilean team? I mean, you have important rivals there, important teams to compete with. Well, I see this as a great challenge and a great responsibility as well. And of course, I'm very, very proud to be leading this team into a competition, and we're trying to achieve the best outcome and competing with the best teams from the various confederations and continents. And I repeat, once again, we are absolutely confident that we can provide a very strong showing, and we will be there to prove it.
Yes. Gracias. Juan Antonio.
Thank you. Juan Antonio, I'm not quite sure whether you had the opportunity to see the match between Germany and Chile in Stuttgart, where Germany won 1-0. Mr. Löw will certainly have a vivid recollection of that, because Germany suffered a lot during that match. They suffered a lot because Chile was very intensive in their play, and a kind of high intensity as well in terms of attacking play. And do you believe that you could repeat that? Because could you repeat that at the Confed Cup? Well, I do believe that every match is different, and it happens at different times and with different intervals. And you're speaking about a match that took place some time ago. The teams have changed in the meantime. We have new coaches. We have a new coach. We have a couple of new players. And of course, we try to maintain a certain identity that allowed us to reach and win the last couple of titles that we have won. But I think every match has to be prepared and seen within its own context and own time, and with the possibilities and opportunities that you have as a team, and also with the challenges posed by the rival. I think this is a great opportunity to compete with Germany, and I think we're up to it. I think we are up to the task of competing with them.
Vale, muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Gute für die Vorbereitung. Everything best, all the best for the preparation. Todo bien para la preparación.
Muchas gracias.
Antonio, we look forward to see you in June, July here in Russia for the Tournament of Champions. We will shortly resume with Group A, so just stay on. In a few moments, we'll continue with Group A. Welcome back to this press conference with the coaches following an interesting draw here in Kazan today. It is a great pleasure to welcome on stage the coaches of Group A. The host coach, Stanislav Cherchesov, a great goalkeeper at the time. As an Austrian, I have to say that. Then Anthony Hudson from New Zealand, Fernando Santos, the coach of the reigning European champions, and Juan Carlos Osorio, the coach of Mexico. It's a great pleasure to have you here. Mr. Cherchesov, the opening match against New Zealand, how do you see that? And also for Anthony Hudson, playing the hosts in the first opening match in St. Petersburg, how do you rate that? Mr. Cherchesov.
How do I see that? It must be a good and attractive game, full stadium, sold out, an attractive game, an intensive game, and the match will be decisive.
Playing the host?
Again, it's a game that's packed stadium, host nation. You know, it's going to be great for our players, great for the Russian team as well. And it's a game that, you know, it's one that we're very much looking forward to, and we're excited about the challenge.
The fans here in Kazan looking forward to a real clash. Portugal, reigning European champions, against the against the Gold Cup champion Mexico. A real treat. Mexico, the only winner of this competition among the participants. Mr. Osorio, how do you see the group, and particularly the clash in the opening match?
En español.
Shall I speak in Spanish or English?
En English.
No, en español.
En español, perfecto.
I'll speak in Spanish then, perfect. Well, for us, it'll truly be an honor to compete with the current European champion. We, and I personally, am a fan of this great footballing man to my right, Mr. Fernando Santos. We follow very closely the Euro tournament. We follow all Portugal's games. We saw its outstanding level of play. We're going to play against a team that might have the two best offensive players in the world, Cristiano Ronaldo and others, such as Nani, Quaresma, or whatever the coach might decide to line up. It's a nation that's also renewing its roster, players such as Sanchez that are being hunted by clubs all over the world, great defenders such as Pepe. So we're playing a team that's in transition, that's extraordinary, that has an attacking mindset, and I repeat, it'll be an honor for Mexico to compete against this great footballing nation.
Gracias. Fernando Santos. It's the first time you participate in the FIFA Confederations Cup, but with the host Russia, you had already an encounter during the 2014 qualifiers. How do you see the host country and then also your group?
I think it's going to be a very difficult group, starting with Russia, host nation for this tournament, with a new coach, with a lot of ambition. One of the favorites for the tournament, in my opinion, because they play at home, because they have excellent players, they are well coached, and surely they will want to win this Confederations Cup. So, one favorite. After that, Mexico, the only team which has won a Confederation Cup in the past, and the work of Juan Carlos Osorio is excellent. Only one defeat in 7 games. We know their players. Many of them have played in Portugal or play in Portugal, like Jimenez, Ejera, Corona. And so several players have been playing in Portugal and also a favorite for the tournament. Finally, New Zealand. obviously less well known. That doesn't mean that they are not going to be difficult. They always play with a lot of ambition. For the players of New Zealand, it will be a very important tournament playing at this level, and I'm sure they are going to be motivated with a young coach now who's recently arrived at the helm of New Zealand with obviously big ambitions, and he will convey that message to his team. Now we're going to study our opponents. We are not favorites, but we are here also to play to win, and that's what we're going to do. But it's going to be a very high-level competition, I'm sure.
Muito obrigada. Now the floor is yours. Please wait until the microphone is there and say your name and organization. Yes, over there.
Здравствуйте, меня зовут Альберто Гарсия.
I would like to ask the Russian coach. I'm from Ecuador. Here I'm on your right-hand side. The Confederations Cup will be staged in Russia. Russia must organize the tournament and perform well, but the group is very strong. Is the Russian team ready for it, ready for a great performance? It's not an easy group. It's clear. The European champion, Mexico, wonderful, ambitious team. New Zealand, very good team. We've got also a transfer period. Now the team is changing. We have many young players. Some players finalized their career. Our team gets younger and younger, and we change the generations whether we wish it or not. We have to change many things, and we are in the process of constructing a new team, and we will fight for the trophy. And it is a brilliant and illustrious tournament, and nobody will just participate. Everybody will want to win, and it's clear for us we are not champions yet. And we host here the champions of respective continents. So we have much work to do ahead of us, and we will try to do that.
Fernando Santos from Brazil. Joaquim Low said that maybe he won't bring his main players for this tournament. Will Portugal follow that policy, i.e., will you leave your main players at home? And, for example, will Cristiano Ronaldo play in this tournament?
Sí.
Yes, for sure he will play. Only if he is prevented from doing so. But if there's no illness or if he is not hurt, I hope that Cristiano Ronaldo will be here and that we will play at full strength. It's a very strong competition, just champions from the different continents, and that in itself means that from our side, from Portugal, we are going to play at our highest level.
Further questions? Okay, in the first row.
Sí, gracias.
Yes, thank you. Ruben Rodriguez for Juan Carlos Osorio. I have a couple of questions, if you allow me. The first question is as follows. How do you see your group? Would you call it a group of peers, clubs that stand on the same footing? Mexico is going to have to bring its best team, but will it make the Confederations Cup a priority? That's my second question. So first of all, I think that the group presents three different styles of play. Portugal has quick transitions. It's a team that tries to beat you on the sides. Russia, as its coach has said, it's renewing his roster. It's a very dynamic team that has a lot of precision to it. They're used to playing in the type of climate that we might not be so used to. And New Zealand, as we saw in the friendly we've had, it's a team that puts a lot of pressure offensively, and this leads to good results. They know also how to play amongst themselves very well. They have Wood as a very important player, number 9. So they try to play to that player, and truly, this will offer us the opportunity to play against 3 great teams, 3 great coaches, each of them with their own idea about how to play football. And Mexican football will try to compete on the same level. As regards your second question, that's a decision that's being made as we speak, but I would probably agree with what was stated by Fernando Santos. This is a tournament that gathers the best teams of all the confederations, and therefore we have the obligation of bringing the best team possible.
Muchas gracias. Any further questions to the coaches? Okay, on the left side.
Olympic panorama. My question goes to Stanislav Cherchesov. The first match will be played in St. Petersburg. Did you plan international friendlies on this stadium? If yes, when and who would be the opponent? First of all, we will be happy to play in St. Petersburg the first game. Currently, we do not plan to play in St. Petersburg. As far as I know, we have some other organizational issues we have to solve. Should we plan to play, we will communicate it to you on time. The stadium will be ready. It is a wonderful facility for a long time to go, and I presume that our guests will be happy to play there.
As there are no more questions, but before I closing, a small reminder that tickets for the Tournament of Champions are going on sale after 1st of December on www.fifa.com/ticket or in Russia, www.fifa.com/bilet. And it is as of 12 o'clock Central European Time, 1400 Moscow time. And I would like to thank the coaches. Spasiba, thank you, obrigado, muchas gracias. We wish you all the best for the preparation and the tournament, and we look forward to see you here in June, July next year in the 4 Russian cities, Kazan here, Sochi, St. Petersburg, and Moscow.